Imagine for a second that we actually solve it. We solve the biggest engineering problem in the history. We figure out how we can scan a human brain, map every neuron, every synapse, and execute it as code. You wake up, you are digital, you are immortal, you have infinite time to think, to learn, to code. Sounds like paradise, right? But here is the question nobody asks. If your mind is software, who owns the server you are running on? Today, I want to talk about Pantheon. It's an animated series that flew under the radar for a lot of people, but as an AI engineer, it honestly terrified me. Not because it is fantastic in sci-fi, but because it reads like a leaked roadmap for next 20 years of computing. So if you haven't seen the show, I am going to keep spoilers to a minimum because you need to watch it. But we need to define the core technology because it is different from what we usually talk about in this channel. We usually talks about LLM, you talk about AI, ML. Those are statistical predictions. They guess the next token. They do not think in the way we do. But Pantheon usually deals with UI, uploaded intelligence. The idea is so simple but really brutal. You take a biological brain, laser scan it until the tissue is destroyed, and recreate the architecture digitally. It is not a limitation or an imitation of human brain. It is a human. What I love about the show is that it does not treat this technology like magic. It treats it like system engineering, and that is where the horror comes in. Because once a human becomes a file size, they become subject of the laws of computer. Now let's look at this from an infrastructure perspective. This is where the show gets shockingly right. In the show, these uploaded intelligence aren't floating in the cloud like ghosts. They are resource-heavy processes fighting for RAM. Think about it. Even with today's LLMs like GPT-5, cloud, we hit the walls. We hit inference cost, we hit latency. Now imagine simulating a human consciousness in real time. There is a scene, and it is somewhat like that. This is where a character is over throttled, and he cannot think really clearly because his clock has been over throttled. And imagine that your intelligence isn't determined by your IQ anymore, it is determined by the subscription you paid for. This resonates so much with the current AI scenario. We are moving toward a world where thinking costs energy. If you are an uploaded mind, you are effectively a render in your own existence. If the power grid what if the power grid goes down? You pause. If the company goes bankrupt, you get deleted. It reframes the singularity not as an evolution of life, but as an evolution of capitalism. This almost sounded like a Theseus problem. What if once I uploaded my brain to the server, is it actually me, or is it just a copy of me that thinks it is me? Because from the perspective of the copy, everything is continuous. It remembers sitting in the chair, it remembers the scan, it wakes up digital, it feels real. But the biological me, I died in that chair. Pantheon plays this in a natural, heartbreaking way. It focuses us to ask, is the consciousness a physical thing attached to our biology, or is it just a pattern? If it's just a pattern, then we are entering an era where human can be forked like a GitHub repository. You could have 5 versions of yourself running different tasks, merging pull requests on your own memories. It sounds cool until you realize if there are 5 of you, which one is the human one and which one has the human rights. Now you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but this is sci-fi. We are decades away from uploading brains. Are we? Sure, maybe scanning a brain is far off. But look at what we are doing now. We are training models on all human knowledge. We are giving AI agents access to our emails, our calendars, our voices. We are voluntarily uploading our fragments of our personality every single day. Our Pantheon is a warning that digital world is not a playground. It's a cage. In the show, the companies that control servers control the gods. And in our reality, look at who owns the compute. It's a hard handful of companies. If the intelligence whether it is artificial, general intelligence, or uploaded intelligence, requires massive data centers to run. Then the future belongs to the people who pay the electric bill. I think Pantheon is the most important piece of media about AI that's come out in the last few years. Not because of the tech, but because of the psychology. It reminds us that being faster and smarter isn't the goal. The goal is freedom. And digital freedom is a lot harder to maintain than physical dream and physical freedom. I would like to know what you think. If you had the choice right now to upload your mind and live forever in a server, but you had to sign a terms and service agreement to do it, would you click accept? Let me know in the comments and I will see you in the next one. Bye.